what quarterbacks out of the ones available and potentially available would you guys want the XFL to sign, particularly Tampa, to improve the starter competition?
Yeah, because they brought in 3 new quarterbacks, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
And I was surprised that Tampa wasn't one of the teams. You guys know I'm not as big on Aaron Murray.
He's a good quarterback.
But I think it's interesting that he brought up Tampa. And there's quarterbacks out there.
Yeah.
And then obviously once the NFL season ends, we'll see who's
Correct.
coming off
the guys on
practice squad.
Yeah.
Kenny, I know you had a couple on your list that were very interesting.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of John Wolford, which, no surprise.
There's a shock.
I'm a Wake Forest guy.
Talk about homers.
I'm a Wake Forest
He's a
guy.
good quarterback, though.
No,
Yeah.
he
He played in the AAF, and he was played
successful
well.
in the
Him and,
Yeah,
him and Garrett Gilbert were by far the 2 best quarterbacks in the league.
Absolutely.
Like, it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
And the Hotshots were one of the best teams, along with the Apollos.
They're the only team to beat Orlando, I'm pretty sure.
I think so, yeah. So I'm a big fan, man. The guy did amazing work at Wake Forest. He's really started the revolution there of what we've had as a football program the last 5 years. He's a very underrated quarterback. He's undersized, unfortunately. He's like 5'11",
Is he?
maybe 6 foot in cleats.
Yeah.
So that kind of hurts him. But I mean, it still speaks enough where a guy that size gets continued looks in the
Where do
NFL.
you see his strengths are? Is it more accurate?
He's very mobile. So when Wake recruited him, he broke all of Tim Tebow's high school records
No way.
in Florida. Oh, he was huge. He was massive. He broke all of Tim Tebow's state high school football records.
Just didn't have the size, huh?
Yeah, he was 5'11". So his strengths, he's
None
very
of us do.
Yeah, he's very mobile. He's got a decent arm. It's not a
I
cannon.
died to be 5'11". What are you guys talking about?
He plays with heart.
Yeah.
He plays it hard. He works hard.
He's a coach on the field.
He's a coach
He's a
on the
scrappy
field.
guy.
He's scrappy.
Yeah,
That's right.
But no, he's very mobile. One of the things you'll notice is he can get outside the pocket, make things happen. He's a very improvisational quarterback.
Wow, sounds a lot like Aaron Murray, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously though, wouldn't that be a good fit in Tampa?
It would be. It would
If you
be.
want to, if you lose Aaron
If you want
Murray
a
or
similar quarterback.
Yeah,
absolutely.
but I think he's got to be the number 1 option on practice squads right now.
Do you guys off the top of your head remember the other quarterback that they took in the draft? Like I don't.
Who took in the draft?
Tampa.
well, something that's interesting is Quentin Flowers was
yeah.
drafted
Quentin Flowers,
as
that's a
but he
great
was
point.
drafted as a running back.
Yep.
And I
That's
talked
a
about he's
great
my
point.
X factor.
Well, he can play some
That's
QB.
a
But
great
he's been
point.
taking snaps at quarterback,
Yep.
even though he was drafted as a running
He was
back.
unbelievable at South Florida.
Yeah.
So
Was there a quarterback from Oklahoma State that they
Yeah,
drafted?
Taylor Cornelius.
Yeah,
He's
on
not
that.
that
right,
player
yeah.
either. Watch out for him.
And he's fresh. I mean, he's fresh out of college, so he's got no rust.
Right.
Like,
He's been playing.
yeah.
Yeah, I
so-
think of all the teams that probably need to add a little depth, Tampa's definitely one of them. I mean, I don't know. New York maybe add some depth behind McGloin.
maybe. Yeah.
I'm big on Brett Rypien. You guys know that
Yeah.
before the season or before all of these signings, and Brett Rypien was kept
Successful
on
in
the Broncos
Big
practice
arm,
squad.
huge arm.
Yeah.
He had the best arm strength out of everyone at the combine last year.
Did he really?
Nothing to sneeze at. I think that you bring him into DC as your 3rd quarterback. Sorry, I'm not sure Vad Lee's going to make the team.
Sorry,
but
Pesto.
you know, we'll see. Not that Vad Lee's a bad quarterback.
Flatly, you can
No.
go multiple different
I mean,
ways.
look at the DC quarterbacks right now. You have Cardell Jones, you have Tyree Jackson. Big guy, strong arms. That's Brett Rypien. He's got a strong arm. He could fit as that 3rd quarterback and maybe even compete for the backup or who knows. You know,
Yeah.
According to Kenny, he could maybe compete for the starting job. So, right? So that's a guy
I think
that I'm on.
I
too.
think DC would be well.
That would be a stacked
to
quarterback.
get
room, man.
another quarterback.
I feel
in
like
my
DC
opinion.
has just so much potential when it comes to quarterbacks. Like Cardell Jones, like we saw what he could have been like from
Yeah.
college, right?
Yeah.
And you have Tyree Jackson.
He looked good when I was at minicamp.
Dude, but have you
It's like
se-
one of them has
Have
to
you
catch
seen
fire,
the
right?
Have you seen the video, by the way, of
No.
Tyree Jackson at the NFL Combine
No.
last year? So you know the Combine drill where the receivers are running across the field and they're catching passes
Yeah,
from
absolutely.
both sides.
Yep,
Like,
looking
boom, boom,
left
boom.
and right. Yep.
So Tyree Jackson, Steve Smith walked over there. Steve Smith, the former Carolina Panthers receiver,
Yeah, great receiver.
walked over there and basically kind of yelled at him and was like, "Dude, you need to tone it down," because everybody was dropping his pass.
Because he was throwing it.
Like
too
he
far.
was just, I mean, he was putting holes through him.
I mean, the guy's what 6 foot.
Yeah, dude has
6'7",
like a freaking
yeah.
howitzer for an arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's 6'7". He's a monster.
So that's 2 guys right there. Is there
That's
anyone
2.
else that stands out, or should we move on?
Gless, you had somebody, didn't you?
I did. I think Jake Browning, but
Oh,
again,
of
that's
course,
that's
the Homer
that's
show.
a
Of
Homer
course he
one.
did. It's the Homer show.
So like when we
Homer show.
argued
on his
about this
Washington hat next.
That's right.
next
He's
segment.
an East Coast team and a West Coast.
By the way, I
team.
will say that last night we went to the JMU game. So the only colors that I have that are purple and gold, which are JMU's colors.
I have 3
is
extra
like,
sweaters.
Well, yeah, I probably should have asked pastel. but like is Washington stuff.
Nice.
Well, like Weber State also is purple and has like their W.
Are they really?
So like
No.
I almost left my house with all like my Husky stuff with like a W. I would have sat in the middle of the
Yes.
JMU crowd.
I didn't
That
know
would
that,
be
and now
great.
I'm upset. Like
But pastel, I didn't wear it. Right?
Yeah.
I didn't wear it. So
you
there
didn't.
go.
You
There
didn't.
go.
You were a good JMU fan. I appreciate
That's
that.
right.
What do you think, Les? Like Seattle for Jake Browning?
Yeah, I mean
Obviously.
that's the most logical
They
spot
have
for
so
him.
many quarterbacks.
But they have
though.
so many quarterbacks. But I think that he's on the practice squad with the Vikings now. He was a good college quarterback. I wouldn't call him a great college quarterback by any means. His record speaks for itself.
He's
we're not
smiling.
going to get into
He's
it.
I'm a little
smiling
shocked
because
that you
no
say
one,
that.
no one.
Because
thinks that
outside
good
of one
quarterback.
season, he's been dreadful.
Yeah.
We're not
The
going
one
to
season was
have this argument.
phenomenal.
We're not going to have this
We
argument.
got too much to get to.
We got too
No,
much to
that's
get
fine.
to. I think he's a logical choice, just from a
Yeah.
marketing standpoint, a college experience standpoint. Now he's professional experience. He'd be a guy that I think would fit well in the XFL. Not even as a starter, maybe a backup somewhere. So I think this type of this league is kind of where
He's a very
his talent is.
He's a dynamic player, right? He can run the ball too. He's not just an arm talent, right?
I mean, he's small. He's a small guy.
He's a smaller
Not a
guy.
big
but
arm.
They ran some zone read with
That's what I
him
thought,
at
yeah.
UW. They did some quarterback run stuff with him. He wasn't totally this fragile guy who would sit back in the pocket.
yeah.
But I think just from a marketability standpoint and a talent standpoint, this is he's not an NFL quarterback. He's just
He's a
not.
player. He's a ball. He's a player.
What's up, football fans? Visit XFLChalkTalk.com to get the latest analysis, discussions, interviews, and news from around the league. You can also sign up for our email list so you can receive notifications on when content is posted focused on your favorite XFL team.